In this video, we are going to see the complete roadmap or learning path for SQL. So, first of all, let us understand what is SQL. So, SQL is a structured query language, which is usually abbreviated as SQL or SQL. Okay, so it is a domain specific language used in programming and designed for managing data. So, SQL is basically a relational database management system, which we usually call it as an RDBMS. Okay, relational database management system. So when it is used, see, whenever you are creating any application, so you have to store the data in the backend. Okay, so this SQL is used as a database which is used to store the data in the backend. Okay, so that is why we need SQL. So anyhow we are storing it, we cannot store it as such. Okay, it has something which we have to make the data in order to store it effectively, in order to retrieve it back later. So let us see the complete learning path as a basic, that is a beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level. So as a beginner level, you should understand what is SQL. Okay, what is SQL? So in introduction to SQL, you should know what is SQL, what are the advantage of using SQL, and what is the SQL syntax and structure. So as I told, it's a programming like language, but it is not exactly like how we write the program for probably like C or C++ or Python. So it has its own structure to write. Likewise, even this has its own structure to write. Okay, so how we can write it, so all the syntax and structure you should know. So that is introduction to SQL. And basic commands, like you should know what is select class. So these we call it as a class: select, from, where, order by, limit, group by. So group by is basically we'll be using an aggregate function. So group by class, basic arithmetic operations, how to use the string functions like uncat, upper, lower, etc. So these are all the basic thing which we'll be learning. And then filtering and sorting the data. So in filtering and sorting the data, you will be using where and having. Okay, this is used to filter the data. You should understand what is the difference between this where and having. The logical operators like and, or, not. Okay, where and why you should use this. In and between operator, order by and group by class, is null and is not null operator. So all these operators you should know while filtering your data. And we also have some wildcard like. Okay, we have like as well, so you can use like in order to filter the data. Next is aggregate functions like count, sum, average, max, min, distinct keyword, and group by class. So all these things are important. So you can think why the group by is given here as well as here. This group by is to filter the data. So even if you want to filter the data based on a specific group, so you will be using this filter. Now also, whenever you aggregate the data, you can also use the group by. So you should know when and how to use this filter, that is group by, to filter the data, and group by while aggregating the data. So this is about the basic level. And the next is what intermediate level of SQL. So if you see intermediate, we have joins. Okay, so in joins you have various types of joins like inner join, left join, right join, full outer join, cross join. So in few so SQL is base for all the other thing like Oracle. Even if you're using Oracle, you should know SQL, like SQL language, then only you can just write the Oracle as well, work with Oracle. So inner join, in some RDBMS language, they'll be telling like inner left outer join, right outer join. Okay, so this all depends on the software which you're using, like Oracle or something like a Postgres. So it depends on that. Okay, so this is what about all about this join. Subqueries, single row subquery, multiple row subqueries, correlated subqueries, exist operator. So all these things are related to subqueries. DML, that is data manipulation language. You have few more in data manipulation language. Okay, so like in DML, you have some more like the main thing is what insert, update, delete, and select. Select is also considered to be the DML. Okay, so DML means data manipulation language. If you want to manipulate the data, So what are the statements which you will be using is what these statements. Okay, and the next one is what the DDL, which is data definition language. So if you talk about a data definition language, so what are all the data definition language? If you want to define the data, then you need to create a table, you need to alter the table, you need to truncate. So this DDL completely talks about the table. Okay, creating the table, altering the table, dropping the table, deleting the table, renaming the table. Okay, whereas DML talks about completely about retrieving the record from the table. Okay, so this is DDL. And if you talk about advanced filtering and sorting option, so you'll be using not operator and or how to use this like operator, advanced filtering, wildcards, using the wildcards, and using regular expressions. And let us come to the advanced level of SQL. So you should learn advanced SQL commands here. So advanced SQL commands like union operator, intersect operator, except with class. Okay, this is a um, common table expression we'll be using. So with class is most probably used, and you can see that this union, intersect, and except. Okay, so you should understand what is the difference between union and joins. Okay, this should be used properly. And next one is advanced functions like date and time function. How to use date functions, time functions, string functions such as concat, substring, replace, trim, math functions such as apps, seal, floor, round. Okay, so you have various advanced functions here. If it might be the logical functions you can include. So if I have missed out something, please leave that in the comments so that everyone will be useful. Next one is the stored procedure. So creating and executing the stored procedure, how to create and execute the stored procedure, how to create using this triggers. Trigger is important. Difference between the stored procedure and the triggers is also important. Finally, if we talk about database design and normalization, so understanding database design and normalization, what is database, why do we need normalization, what are the keys like pkf, primary key, foreign key, fk means foreign key, sk means sub key, super key, um, super keys, why should we need. So there are lot of keys, candidate keys are there, so why do we need it. So all these things are important, all these things are important. The keys should be learned. 1 minute. So then we should understand the relationship like one to one to many to one, many to many. If it is many to many, like what kind of relationship, what kind of table we have to establish. So all these things we have to understand, and the different normal form, right? 1NF, how to make your table into 1NF, okay, 2NF, 3NF, 4NF, BCNF, everything. So these are all the topics which I felt these are all important. If I have missed out something, okay, because since I'm just writing it completely out of my understanding, and finally you have to do some project with this. Okay, so you have to take a table and make it normalize it. Try to fetch the record, create the tables, multiple tables, insert the records into it, delete the data, try to rename the table, try to give the different, alter the table, everything you have to just try. So if you have any queries, or if I you feel like I have missed some topics, okay, some important topics in SQL, please leave that in the comments so that everyone will be useful, everyone will be benefited out of it. And if you have any other technology, if you wish to learn about that particular technology, and if you want to know about the roadmap for that, please let me know. I can definitely help you out. Thank you, take care, bye bye.